and welcome back to another She Budgets YouTube video. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Sarah and I love all things budgeting, planning and personal finance. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at our January results and how we went with our budget and sticking to those budgets that we set at the beginning of the month. And I can tell you now that it was a big one for us with spending. I think we were a little too relaxed during the holidays, but that's okay. So let's see how we went for the month of January. So I'm going to be starting with the budget overview today. So I might zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so we have our groceries. So these are all the categories that we chose at the beginning of the year that we were going to focus on. And then we have, for this month, January, we had what we wanted to stick to in terms of our groceries and things like that. So I can tell you, I did these off camera so it wouldn't take too long, this video. So for groceries, we were well over. We were $1,637 groceries. So over by $437, which I'll just zoom you out so you can see the whole thing, which yes is a fair bit. I feel like a lot of you are probably feeling the pinch with that. I know we definitely are with grocery prices at the moment. Okay, so next we have eating out. We budgeted $400. We spent $715. Yeah, another big one for us.
That. Could you try again?
Sorry, that was my Siri. So yeah, big one for us with that. Oh, actually, I might quickly fill in for the last month. I didn't do this for December just because it was a bit of a crazy with time of year, just with like She Budgets and Christmas, so I didn't get a chance. But so I'm going to do last month's as November, so I might just write that up here just so I know for next time. So in November we spent $1,188 on groceries, and then eating out we spent $349. So as you can see, a very big difference compared to January, but that's okay. So car, we budgeted $800. We actually spent, this really hurts to write this down, $3,304. We, I don't know if I told you all, but on the way to Adelaide, we had Colin's ute, decided to sort of break down on the side of the road, which was fun. So we had to spend a couple of days in Horsham getting the ute fixed, and then we had to get it serviced. And that is how much it all cost us. It was actually crazy. Cars, they're so expensive, aren't they? So that was definitely over budget. So we've got $2,504. And then last month we only spent $303. Okay, so hopefully in February we don't have anything like that again. For the boys, we budgeted $400. We only spent $352, which is good. So we're under budget for that, which is probably one of the only ones we're under budgeted for. And then compared to November, November was $978, but that's because there was childcare fees and that, but we're not paying childcare fees anymore, which is nice. House, we budgeted $200. It was actually $661, so that was over by $461. I think the biggest thing for that was we got our gutters cleaned. That was nearly $300, so that was one of the big differences. And then for November, our house was $179. So we did pretty well in November. Utilities, we budgeted $800. They were $625. So we were under budget, $175, which was good. I'm not sure though. I feel like that's going to go up, that price, with all gas prices and that at the moment. And then in November, we spent $657, so similar. Next, we have insurance, $165. It was actually $171. I think our house insurance just went up a tiny bit. So that was over $6. And then $164 in November. Next we have memberships and subscriptions. Budgeted 200, we spent 228. If you're wondering where I'm getting all these figures from, it's I'll just quickly show you tracking our expenses. Oh, where's the other one? I like to track our expenses. So that one as well was over by $28. In November, what did we have in November? 174. So again, November was a really good month for us. Next we have health. Budgeted 200, we spent 124, so we're under budget, which is good, by $76. And we spent 82 in November. Splurge was 800, and it was 800, so $0. And then in November was 400. We decided this year to put our splurges up now that I'm back at work, so that's nice. Debt payoff was budgeted 2.5. Was 2,471, so pretty close with that, so just under by $29. We just pay the minimum at this stage in our life off our mortgage and car loan. We eventually would like to pay off more on our car loan though when we can. And in November it was 2,479. Not sure why it was more, but it was. Then we have savings. We budgeted 1,600. And we actually saved $4,422, which was great. We got some extra money come in from I think a Facebook marketplace sale. So we could put extra into our savings. So that was over, which is, we always want it to be over for our savings, $2,822. And then in November, we saved $2,004. Next, we have investing. We budgeted 120. We actually put in 225. Colin and I put a bit more into our super this month, so that was $105 more. And then in November it was 120. Unbudgeted, we would like to budget nothing for unbudgeted, but always things pop up. Not quite sure what the 318 was for, but there would have been just random things that popped up that I didn't budget for. And then in November we was only $56. Then lastly we have our income. This is probably like our minimum income, what we get for the month, around $9,000. But it was actually $11,418 after, some Facebook Marketplace sales. Colin, I think, did a bit of overtime one week. So that was great. So an extra $2,418. And then in November it was $8,723. So we definitely made a lot more income this month than we did in November. All right, so that is that section done. So that's a really good way to try and look at how you're going for the month and what you need to maybe do going into the next month. So from this, I can really tell we really need to rein in our groceries and eating out because we were well over. I might just quickly do this. So over. Oh, and the car. Let's hope we have no more big expenses for the car for next month. Gosh, I hope so. Fingers crossed. And then under budget. But yeah, I'd like to probably really focus on the groceries and eating out for us. They're things we can control. We can't really control the car if something happens to that. But yeah, I think we'll like to focus on the things we can control, like our groceries and eating out. Okay, so moving on to the next page in the results part, and this is the sinking funds overview. So I've already gone and pre-filled out the sinking funds that we focus on for this month, their beginning balance, and now I'm going to go through what we added to that sinking fund, what we took out, and then the ending balance. So for boy's birthday, we started with $258. We added $60. We took out $0 because their birthdays aren't till June and July. So we have $318 left. In Christmas, we started with $41. We added $160. Didn't take out anything. Don't need to do Christmas shopping just yet. So we got $201 in there. Holiday, we started with $14. We added $418 into there. We spent $133. We went away for a weekend, had to pay some accommodation, and then we're ending with $299. For gifts, we had $306. We added $536. January is a really crazy month for us with birthdays and whatnot, so A lot of spending was had in January for gifts, so $644, and that leaves us with $198 going into February. Medical, we had $431. We put in $181. We spent $480. I think we had a few physio appointments and whatnot, so we've left with $132. Car rego, we started with $569. We added $100. We didn't take out anything because it's not due till I think May, so it leaves us with $669. Car service had $174. We added $200. We took out the whole lot when the car needed fixing, and then so we are left with $4 in there. We had to use some of our emergency fund money, so that's why it's important to have an emergency fund. So if something like your car breaks down, you are able to pay to get it fixed. So luckily we had money in, some money in our sinking fund, and then an emergency fund to cover that. House started with $109. We added $110. We spent $159, and that leaves us with $60 in for house. I think we just bought some things from Bunnings and whatnot. Family fund started with $185. We added $95. We spent, what did we spend? $140. That would have just been like maybe when we were away, we did a couple of things as a family. So, and then we are left with $140. Next we have events. We added $120. We spent $200 because Cohen has a Bucks Day coming up, and that's how much it was to attend. And then we are left with $31 in events. Union fees, $196. We added $60. We took out none because they're not due yet, and so that leaves $256 in there. Giving started with $78. We added $11. We haven't spent any yet for giving, and so that leaves us with $89. Cohen's Golf membership. We had to pay a big membership fee at the beginning of this year, so we started with $0. We added $60. We took out the $60, so that leaves us with nothing. Valentine's Day started with nothing at the beginning of the year. We've added $80. We haven't spent it yet because it hasn't happened. And that leaves us with $80. And then with Easter, we've added $60. Haven't spent anything yet, so that leaves us with $60. And then I've just got down here the totals. So the beginning total that we had in our sinking funds account was $2,472. We then have added $2,251 into our sinking funds. And then we have spent $2,186, so just a little bit under what we added. And that leaves us with $2,537 sitting in our sinking funds in our Up bank account. Okay, so there is the sinking fund overview page done. And then lastly, what I do for the month, let's just move this over so you can see, is the savings and debt overview. Our sinking funds, we saved, what was it that we saved for our sinking funds total? I've got it here, $2,251. $2,251, and we have a total balance of $2,537. We added to our challenge $55, and that's how much it has in there so far. And our emergency fund, we added $2,099 to it, and now we've reached our $5,000 mark, which is good. And then our debt, we had our mortgage, so we paid off for the whole month $1,820, and for our car loan we paid off $651 for the month. I'm just going to leave out the balances for now. So that is how I fill out the back sections in the budget planner. So it's just a good way to see how you went with your spending, what you need to focus on going into next month. So then what I'll do is I'll just go and write a few notes down here of what we would like to do going into February. Maybe we have to adjust some of our numbers and what we budget for certain things. We definitely probably need to put more into car service for when these things come up. But that is it for today's video. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.